Hello, I'm Hart Hillman, Bedford partner, global lead for the technology practice for Transearch, and today I'm sitting with Max Long, President, Microsoft Canada. Max, thank you very much.
It's good to be here.
We're going to talk today a little bit about innovation and the mentorship program, and this is one of a series of leadership discussions that are going to be held over the next 12 months with CEOs from business, from academia, and from government. Max, as you know, Canada is unfortunately not pulling great grades on innovation. The OECD ranks us 14th out of 17 countries, and the Conference Board has given us a grade of D on our ability to innovate and invest in innovation. How do you think that innovation can be promoted, and how can we grow innovation in Canada?
I've been in Canada now for 7 months, and it's been interesting for me because I came to Canada with a perception, which is that Canada went into the recession slower than most other developed nations around the world. It's come out quicker and is recovering quicker than most other places. I see bright, well-educated people here in Canada, and I think all the ingredients are there for innovation. Let's be really clear, there are places where there's some great innovation. And I was out just recently in the West, and I see some of the software development going on over there. It's great, and it's very innovative and very exciting. So I look at it and say, there's definitely the potential here in Canada for a strong set of innovation to come through. Maybe one of the things is that I have found as well is that we're very focused in Canada on looking at ourselves in comparison to the UK, Germany, France, and to obviously our southern neighbours, the US. And I wonder if maybe we should be thinking about more broadly than that. We should think about the Pacific Rim and see where the competition for the future is going to come from. And that's going to be a big driver for innovation as well. So I think there's a lot of things here that are set up to drive innovation. Maybe it's just that people are ready to take that opportunity and grasp it and take it forward and be successful here in Canada. And by the way, we should be clear, there are some great innovators here in Canada. So it's not like there's a total lack. There's actually good innovation. The question is, could there be more? And I definitely think there could be more here in Canada.
Well, the CATA mandate, as you know, for the Canadian Advanced Technology Alliance is to promote Canada as the innovation nation. I believe it was Bill Gates who stated that never before in history has innovation offered such promise of so much to so many in such a short time period. What's the theme, and how do you look at innovation at Microsoft?
Well, look, innovation's always been at the heart of the organization. One of the things you'll find, even during that downturn that I referred to earlier on, Microsoft actually continued to increase our investment in innovation. Our research and development budget for this fiscal was in excess of $9 billion. And you're seeing a whole wave of innovation coming from us now with Windows 8 and Office and Halo 4. I can go on for a long time, as you can imagine. But that was all funded through innovation investments we made during the recession. So just for us as a company, we're always striving to be the best. We're always thinking about, well, what's not next year? What's going to come in 5 and 10 years' time? You know, look at what we did with the Connect device. And that came out of our research team. Look at what we're doing now with the research. And we're not saying to them, think about what we can deliver in a product next year. We're saying, well, what's the innovation that we're going to drive in 5 to 10 years' time? What new patents are we going to register? How are we going to drive this organization forward and help our customers be more successful as a result? I do think as an individual as well, you know, it's interesting, when I talk to Microsoft employees, we are incredibly self-critical. And I think that flows through the whole organization, which is that we're never happy with where we are. We always want to be better. Right. And I think that's good, and I think that does drive that innovation. And certainly one of the company values is big, bold goals. So we encourage people not to say, hey, I'm going to go for something that I feel I can achieve very easily. I want to go for something that's big, bold, aspirational. And that really drives a different culture in the company. So certainly at a company level and at individual level, we see that innovation being driven.
I had the pleasure of hearing Bill speak here in Toronto, and he talked about placing big bets. I guess that's the notion of those bold moves.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at it and say, look, one of the things I would say and refer to, innovation comes in many different forms. Sometimes it's leading the market, sometimes it's coming into a market that's already got strong innovators in there already. So I look back and say, Connect, it was the fastest selling consumer electronic product, very innovative. totally new to the market, or I can reflect on Xbox and say, actually there were some strong competitors in the market there. But even there we brought innovation through Xbox Live, which really brought a different perspective onto the gaming console. So sometimes we may not be the first in the market, but certainly we still want to drive innovation there.
Part of CATA is to help both entrepreneurs and students, and I know you have a passion for education and for students.
Yeah.
If you were to give some advice to, let's start with a graduating Canadian student, what would you tell that individual? And then maybe let's look at what you would advise those entrepreneurs who are challenged in this marketplace and who are trying to grow their business. Let's start with a student. What would you tell that student?
Well, I think for students, the opportunity now has never been greater because now you can actually be an entrepreneur on a global basis, based here in Canada. Whereas before, if you go back to when I was a young man, we didn't have the internet connections, we didn't have the real world, real-time engagement we can have today. And I look at it and say that you can spin up an application on an app store and be successful on a global basis within months. And that was just never there before. And I also think there's an opportunity for us to think on a global basis and say, it's not just about innovation or driving a solution here for Canada, it's about what can we create in Canada that can be consumed worldwide. So I'd say that's one element. The other one is that I do go back to this whole idea of saying, set aspirational goals for yourselves. One of the things you should never accept as an answer is no. Because I think too many times we're limited by other people's perspectives. And if I'm coming out of college and I was encouraging someone, I'd say, set something really big and bold. You know, my son is 10 years old and he says, I want to play for Chelsea as a soccer player. I've never ever said to him, no, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Now, it's tough.
Right.
But then he's going to aspire to it, and I want to encourage him in every way. And I think it's the same for a student. Go for your dreams. Just go for it.
That's fabulous. What about for entrepreneurs in this country? And a large part of the audience for CATA are entrepreneurs in this country.
Yeah, and I think one thing is you've got to look at entrepreneurship and say you've got to have two aspects to it for me. One is you've got to be innovative and think of those great new ideas. But at the same time, you've got to have a great business plan. So don't underestimate the value of a great business plan, because you can have the best idea ever, but if you don't have a business plan behind that, you're never going to get the investment, you're never going to get to the point where people are actually take your business seriously and help you grow it. So I think you've got to have that balance. So don't underestimate the balance you need between the two, and certainly don't underestimate the value of a great business plan.
That's great. We talked before about, and I know some of your beliefs on this subject, about mentorship and how important that is to helping not only people here at Microsoft, but in general as part of your belief system. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you view mentorship and how Microsoft as a whole brings mentorship into the organization and culture.
Yeah, so as I would say I am a firm believer in mentorship, and I say that because of my personal experiences, both being a mentee and being a mentor. I have to say there has been some times in my career when I've looked to my mentors and they've really helped me. Because a lot of time, you know, you can get great coaching from your manager. You can get great coaching from your friends. I get great coaching from my wife. My kids, they keep me very honest. But sometimes what you need is someone that's got big business experience for me, which is applicable. They've got experiences outside of what I see day to day, and they can just give me a totally different perspective. And I have to say there was a couple of times in my career where that came to the fore, and it just made such a big difference to me. And then as a mentor, I actually find it's very rewarding for me as well. So yeah, I can share the experiences I've had in all these years working in IT, and it makes me feel like I'm contributing back to the stars of the future.
So are you a mentor and a mentee at this point in time?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And I mentor people from around the world in Microsoft and outside of Microsoft, and I'm mentored by some folks also inside the company, outside the company. So I do find it's a good balance to have. And you know, sometimes you get so focused on what you're doing that it's so refreshing to have a different perspective, and I think that really helps. And then from a Microsoft perspective, you mentioned that, we've encouraged mentoring for many years, and we have formal programs around it in the organization. And we say, let's make sure all of our top talent has a mentor, and we actually track that, and we make sure we connect them with the right folks. And I also encourage my team, just anyone, to have a mentor. And I would say to them, the best mentors are often people that aren't the same as yourself. Challenge yourself. Find someone that you would say, wow, they just totally different to me. and I get the most out of that relationship. So I really do believe in mentoring.
That's great. Microsoft is known for social give back and for programs, and today more than ever, Y-Geners want to know about what you're doing for people beyond just the balance sheet and the bottom line.
Yeah.
Can you maybe take a couple moments and talk about some of the social give back, the enterprise-wide philanthropy and social activism that Microsoft participates in?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're very proud of it. And there's different levels. There's Microsoft globally, and then more specifically Microsoft here in Canada. At the Microsoft global level, some of the programs we have are like Youth Spark, which is helping people be entrepreneurial and think in broader ways and expand themselves in the education system on a global basis. Then if you take that to Microsoft Canada, we're really proud of the work we do with the Boys and Girls Club here in Canada, and we've been associated with them for a couple of years now, and it's been a great relationship for both of us. We're very pleased with some of the work we have for a program called Click, where we're working with a couple of hospitals where we're thinking about the children's experience when they come into hospital, and how can we make that better and a richer one for them and their families. We've done that in a couple of places already, and we're going to keep on expanding that. Youth Science here in Canada, we're associated with the program they have there about inspiring people to get into science, and that reflects a bit back to the entrepreneurialism, because some of the people we see coming forward with their ideas, they are wonderful, and you think those folks are going to be so successful when they get into business and take those ideas forward. So all of those different levels we contribute, but one of the things I'm most proud of is the employees here from Microsoft Canada. They get involved themselves. So it's not just about the company giving, but it's about the employees going out there and spending time planting trees. And I did that with a group from Microsoft Canada last summer, where we went down, planted some trees just nearby in a park area, or we go and work at a food bank and help prepare food packages. And this is all voluntary. No one tells anyone in Microsoft to go and do this, but we all opt in, and I think it's a wonderful experience for all of us. And I have to say, my favourite one just recently was we did a children's party for the Boys and Girls Club, and we had over 200 boys and girls come along and spend some time with us, and we had great fun. It was really good.
That's fantastic. That's really great. Now, you're a veteran at Microsoft. You've been with the company for 16?
Just under 16 years.
Just under 16 years, and your mandate's coming up, is it 9 months now? 9 months here in Microsoft Canada. Well, we wish you great success, and we want to thank you on behalf of CATA, its membership, and the entrepreneurs and the students in this country especially, for your discussions and your views on innovation.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to all the great innovations coming out of Canada in the next few years and being part of that. So it's great, and thank you for your time this morning.
Super.
Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks a lot.